Come on, guys. Let's show you how we do this.
Mac Miller was taken too soon, but one beautiful thing is he truly loved what he did. And he left behind a mountain of music that shows just how much he grew as an artist. What's always fascinated me about Mac is his evolution. Not just in sound, but his persona. Kind of like Tyler the Creator. But where Tyler's arc was about self-expression, Mac's was about self-reflection. Now, frat boy music is house party fuel. Bouncy beats and surface level bars about getting drunk, getting high, and getting laid. You put this music on when you want to have a good time. Sad boy music is where things mellow out. The beats get smoother, the lyrics are heavier. You aren't playing this at a party, you're playing this at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling. Both styles have their place, and Mac did all of it. So today, I'm ranking all of Mac Miller's albums, from full-on frat boy to sad boy. My rankings are not based on quality, but rather where Mac was in his life. So let's get started with his
most frat boy album.
When you're young, not much matters. When you find something that you care about, then that's all you got.
This is Mac Miller's first album, released right after high school, following a string of mixtapes he dropped before turning 18. I didn't include those in the ranking, but I'm sure you know where they'd land. Fresh out of school, Mac crafted an album full of clever lines and fun beats, and that's pretty much what you're gonna get on this album. There's not much depth here compared to his later work, but that's not a knock, that's the point. His biggest hit is on this project, and it might just be the most fratty song in his entire discography. He's got girls screaming like Mariah Carey, he's drunk as fuck, and the beat is catchy as hell. That's basically what you're getting across the board with K.i.d.s, and that's why it's taking the top spot for the most frat boy album.
It's the best day ever.
This is Mac's second album, and it's more of what we got on K.i.d.s. He's still chasing girls.
Fresh, looking for a little dime, big button, nice chest.
Still rapping with that carefree party boy swagger, and this project features Donald Trump, which might actually take the top spot as the most frat boy song. It's what every finance bro listens to. And again, it's not bad, this just isn't my favorite era of Mac. Fun, confident, and clearly made by kids still living in dreamland. This is probably most people's least liked Mac album. When it dropped, people hated it, and I think that's less about the album itself and more about the cultural exhaustion with frat rap at the time. Blue Slide Park just happened to be the bullseye for that backlash. Mac even talks about this in his later projects. Now, yeah, the album can get a little repetitive, but there are some real highlights in here. For example, Missed Calls, a slower, more introspective track about a relationship falling apart because of his rising fame. It's the first real crack in the frat boy persona. You start to see something deeper. And then you go back to the title track, Blue Slide Park.
I do this as a rapper, I'm nothing in her mouth, you tongue kissing her after.
The duality of man.
I love.
Technically released before Blue Slide Park in 2011, this album feels like a deep breath before the chaos. It features the song Love Lost, a really great song about, lost love. It's tender, nostalgic, and hints at the emotional depth Mac would later lean into. But from there, the project shifts. Most of the album is Mac reflecting on his fame, his success, his spot in the rap game. He's loving every second of it. This is Mac living the life he dreamed of and genuinely thanking us for helping him get there. There's still some frat boy energy here, but it's more grounded. Less wild nights, more, damn, I really made it. This is where we start to see a real evolution in Mac. Fight the Feeling stands out, not just because it sounds good, but because it says more.
I'm a beetle to these young kids, but sometimes I be feeling like a needle to these young kids.
Mac talks about being praised, feeling powerful, but also how love and drugs can ruin lives. There's nuance here we hadn't seen before. And this is also where we have to talk about Naomi, Mac's high school sweetheart. Now, throughout his earlier albums, Mac talks about having sexual interactions with girls constantly, but he was also in a relationship at the time. Now, someone with way too much free time made a whole timeline of their relationship, and it's widely believed they had some sort of open relationship, which explains the duality. You get relationship songs, you get classic frat boy anthems, but with Macadelic, those lines start to blur. There are lyrics that question the relationship in ways we hadn't seen before. He's unsure, he's self-aware, and when that gets too heavy, he turns to drugs.
And I know you hate them spirits, so I keep them in my lungs.
It's a toxic cycle, and it's a clear signal of where Mac is heading, both as a person and as an artist. An absolute
Banger of an album.
And I know bangers.
Great production, clever writing, and one of Mac's most complete sounding projects. Released in 2015, this album might feel like a return to frat rap at first glance. He's talking about drugs, he's partying again, the beats go hard. But then you hear this line.
Everyone who sell me drugs, don't mix it with that bullshit. I'm hoping not to join the 27 club.
The drugs, they're not a celebration anymore, they're poison. He's thinking about his time left, what he's doing to himself, whether he's even meant to make it out.
And well, wondering how I got this high, fell asleep and forgot to die, goddamn.
The partying, it's not wild or fun, it's routine, empty, numb. Good AM plays like a satire of the frat rap he used to make, and because of that, it feels way more mature. Like he's holding up a mirror to his past and asking, was I ever happy?
I been a nasty girl, nasty. I been a nasty girl, nasty. I been a nasty, nasty, nasty.
This is Mac's most sexually driven album. It's erotic, it's sexy, it's messy, because love is messy, but it's also beautiful. And this album fully embraces the contradiction. So, would a frat boy or a sad boy listen to this? Honestly, both. You've got tracks like Dang, just a full-on bop. Bright, funky, and undeniably fun. And then you've got Congratulations, a legitimately beautiful, emotional opener that feels like a memoir. And the transition between these two songs is my favorite moment on the entire album. This project captures Mac in that rare space between lust and love, between joy and grief, and it shows just how far he's come as an artist. This album came out after Macadelic and is a step forward in every way. Mac's getting way more introspective here. There's a sense of loneliness, of emotional distance, and a quiet longing, especially for the woman in his life. The production, it's dreamlike. A lot of these tracks wouldn't sound out of place on Swimming. Hazy, spacey, and drenched in atmosphere. And then there's the title, Watching Movies with the Sound Off. It's a perfect metaphor for disassociation. Being physically present but emotionally disconnected. It captures the entire mood of the album. Mac is letting us see the real him, and that includes both the light and the dark. This is where people stopped seeing him as just a frat rapper and started seeing the artist underneath.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Released in 2014, Faces was Mac's response to how generic and surface level his earlier sound was becoming, and it is, without question, one of the darkest projects in his catalog. This is Mac at his most honest, his most unfiltered, and his most lost. It didn't even hit streaming platforms until 7 years later, and when it did, man, it's hard to listen to sometimes. The first line of the album is literally,
Yeah, should've died already. Faces.
That already sets the tone. Drugs, death, and spiraling mental health, it's all front and center. Songs are literally titled around those themes. Production-wise, it has moments that feel like good AM, but darker, less polished, and more manic. There's a party vibe to a lot of these tracks, but the parties feel empty, routine. Like Mac's just going through the motions, and that's the scariest part, because the beats are catchy, the flows are tight, but if you're not listening, like really listening, you'll miss the cries for help. This album is masterfully made, but it's a window into a man who is slipping deeper and deeper. What the fuck, man? I genuinely don't understand how this album was even made. Released just this year, and it feels like Mac's ghost is on the beat. Like he saw his own future and told his producers, here, make this when I'm gone. And the wildest part? With a name like Balloonerism and that silly ass cover art, I expected a random mix of leftovers, some stitched together posthumous scraps. But what we got was narratively cohesive, thematically present, and audibly nostalgic. It sounds like Mac, it feels like Mac, but it also feels like a goodbye letter he wrote before he even knew he had to go. This one caught me off guard, and I think that's why it hit so hard.
And I was drowning, but now I'm swimming.
This was Mac Miller's last album before he passed, and that's what makes it haunting to listen to. There's a quiet melancholy woven throughout. Songs like Wings in 2009 feel almost funeral-like, while tracks like What's the Use and Self-Care keep things groovy, but still distant, like he's smiling through something. You can feel the clock ticking in this album, and Mac knew it. Not in a suicidal way, but he was living a life that was unsustainable. There's a strange peace in Swimming, but also an undercurrent of resignation, like he was starting to accept something the rest of us weren't ready for.
They told me it only gets better.
Circles is Mac Miller's first posthumous album, and the second in the trilogy he had planned. Swimming in Circles till Infinity. We never got Infinity, but thank God we got this. This is, in my opinion, the greatest posthumous album any artist has ever received. Where some posthumous projects like Juice WRLD's can feel thrown together, Circles feels intentional, complete.
Can't find a single word.
And there are songs on here that still make me cry. And even though it came out 2 years after his death, every line lingers. Good News hits especially hard. It's quiet, it's sad, it's hopeful, it's Mac trying to find peace. And I'm so grateful the McCormick estate gave us this album. It's a tragedy we'll never hear Infinity, but you know what? I'm okay with this. This was enough. I wasn't even a fan of Mac Miller while he was alive. When I heard he passed in 2018, I chalked it up to another rapper living too fast. I didn't get it. But a few years later, a friend played me one of his songs in high school and something clicked. Felt like I'd been missing a piece of me. Like this stranger understood things I hadn't even figured out about myself yet. And suddenly the grief hit me. 3 years after his death, I felt like I'd known him. I saw his struggle, I saw his effort, and I saw a little bit of myself in him. And I'm so grateful Mac loved making music, and that he can give us so much of it. Rest in peace, Mac. And thank you for everything. Hello everyone, I have an announcement to make. I have a Patreon now. I am currently in the process of developing a video game. So if you want to check that out, or if you just want to keep up with me, I will be in my Patreon primarily. That's where you'll see all of my updates and new stuff that I'm working on. If you want to play my game, if you want to just see like the process of making a game, that's where I'll be. You can do that there. Just follow me there. That's all I got. Thank you very much for watching.